Hey, aloha, y'all. Daniel Aaron here. Thanks for tuning in. It's an exciting video because for me, this is a breakthrough. Well, it's a breakthrough and a breakthrough. What I mean by that is, let me back up a step. It's a series. I've been recording videos honoring my teachers, mentors, and guides. And this one actually is non-specific because it relates to several of my teachers and guides. And here's how it came about. Two things. Years ago, people used to say to me, not often, but once in a while, they're like, I sense there is some deep sadness in you. And that used to really kind of piss me off. Right? Now it's anger. No, it used to piss me off because I'd be like, I don't know what you mean. I don't feel sad. I'm happy. Like, one of the happiest people I know. And yet, I felt like there was something in it. And sure, I've had plenty of reason to be sad in my life. A lot of my family died when I was young. I have a sister who killed herself. There was a lot of pain around my family. And I've done a tremendous amount of, quote, work, healing, resolution, letting go, forgiveness. So when people would say that, I'd be like, I don't get it. I don't know what you mean. Yesterday, I was in a conversation with someone who was exploring a current challenge in their life. And in that exploration, they went back to an event 5 years ago where there was an emergency, right? It was a man describing a situation with his wife, and there was a medical emergency, and she'd had a seizure, but he didn't know it at the time. And, trying to figure out what to do. And then there was this get to the hospital and rush, and the doctor said, we can give her this medication, which will prevent many further things. However, if it's been more than 4 hours since the seizure, it might put her in a coma and kill her. So how long has it been? Can you imagine? And the poor guy's like, oh, shit, 3 hours? No, it might have been 4, and just, he was under so much stress, couldn't figure out in that moment how long it had been. So he's like, all right, better we don't do that. So I bring all that up because as this gentleman was explaining the situation yesterday, relating the current situation to that event 5 years ago, the level of pain and self-blame that was there for him now related to what happened 5 years ago, strong. Like, it was so palpable in that moment that he really harshly judged himself for not handling that situation better. Of course, totally understandable. Any of us might be in that probably would be in that same boat. And so as we were working together a little bit with it, I brought up the possibility that there might be some forgiveness of himself related to how he handled that situation. What's really interesting and what connects the dots with this story I'm telling you now with what I told you about people saying about the sadness with me years ago is his response to me was, I forgave myself for that. I already did that. And my feeling was, great, I believe you. I can imagine. He's a very sincere man who self-reflects, who does the work. So I believe he forgave himself. Here's the thing, though. As he was describing what happened then with what's happening now, there was still, or again, a lot of self-judgment. And here's the big lesson, and one that I've come to in my own experience too, is that we can do the work, we can forgive ourselves, but it doesn't mean that it's necessarily gone forever. And here is my appeal to you, my suggestion, that the importance of self-discovery, self-practice, self-creation, morning rituals, practices, inner work, introspection, many different angles on the same thing, being engaged in conscious self-development. It's so important that it's regular, consistent, I would say daily, because things sometimes resurface, and you could say we're spiraling to another level of it. You could say, well, there was some part of it that hadn't been released back then. However you look at it, it was present, palpably present in him. And the important thing to know is it's very hard to create something new on top of that quicksand of self-judgment. As my friend and coach Steve Hardison puts it, it's putting frosting on poop, right? The way I like to say it is painting pink on rust. It just doesn't work. Building a house on a foundation of quicksand, anytime we're trying to create something in the world, create ourselves to be something, to evolve, and underneath it is self-abuse. I hesitate to use that term because in old Catholic language, that's got another meaning, but hey, you know what I mean? Self-abuse in this case, meaning beating ourselves up, judging ourselves, self-recrimination. So it ain't one and done means whatever it takes, how many ever times it takes for the judgment, the self-recrimination, as many times as it comes up, that's how many times we don't need to. We benefit from softening, loving, accepting, letting it go, right? There's the great Japanese expression, 9 times fall, 10 times rise. And while that's like a samurai warrior statement, the awakened warrior, the new warrior, is the one that has the courage to look within, to feel, to be with the pain when it arises, rather than, I don't feel that, I did that before. To be with it, to allow it, right? To accept it, to let it go. I hope that's helpful. And if that resonates, if you'd like to connect further, if you'd like some help with that, let's have a conversation. Send me a direct message or email me, daniel@danielaaron.com. Thanks, y'all. Sending you big aloha and love. Hasta la pasta.